In this video, I'm going through my PropW trading account, my funded challenge. In this case, I've got a $50,000 account here that I just passed. And if I come to this tab here, I also have a $50,000 here, which is in review, and also about another $10,000 here. So in both of these profiles, I have in total $120,000, and I have passed all of them, but just phase one. So in this video, I want to go through all the trades that I took in one of these accounts, or probably in all of them, because two of them I passed the challenge with just one trade. As you guys know, I've been sharing this information with you on our Discord, which is absolutely free, but more on that later in this video. So the account that I want to have a look at here is this one here, this $50,000. Let me see. No, let's check this one here, this $50,000. So I'm going to switch to this $50,000 here, and you can see this account is in review. If I click on dashboard, you can see that we have passed this account. We've hit a target profit here, and you can probably see how I started this account, and immediately I went in profit, but then I had a drawdown. It's a nice W pattern here, and eventually I broke and I passed it. So in this video, I want to go through each and every trade that I took in this account. And as I just showed you guys that I have 4 different accounts, I can just show you the other accounts, but if you are in our Discord, you already know that within those accounts we just took one trade and passed it. So let's just switch here, and I'll show you here, and I'll click on this $10,000 account, and I'm gonna click on dashboard, and here you can see that within just one day I passed the account. Basically they had sort of like a promotion that you can pass the account in one day, so that's how we actually got this sorted out here. You can see we hit our profit here. Even if I come to this account here and I switch to this one here, so I'm going to switch to that $10,000 one, and I'm going to click on dashboard, and then here you can also see that here we hit a profit target of 552, and on this one we hit a profit target of 5,000, or rather $509. So you can see with those accounts we just took one trade. We're not going to be going through that. However, the one that I want to show you guys is this one here. So let's switch back to this $50,000 account. I'm going to click on dashboard. As you can see guys, this is the account. It's got so many data. You can see we hit over 5% in ROI. But let's click on trades and look at all the trades that I took when trading this account. And in this case, I'm going to be showing you the trades. It's going to be really interesting because I'm going to be showing you the trades that made me money, and also the trade that was sort of like on a loss. So let's go through all of them. I'm going to click on position history. I think this is where I can get the information. Let me just make sure that this is the correct one. Yes, this is the correct one, where we can see all the P&L, and we're gonna start right at the beginning right here. So we're gonna start with the first one. The first one here is break even, so we're not gonna talk about that, but you can see these are the first one that made us some money. Here we've got 18%, and on this one we've got 45%, 43%. So let's go and have a look at those trades in more details. So let's start with this one here. This one is on BTC. I have already went ahead and went to my trading view and went to BTC trading pair, and sort of like marked from the beginning when I started trading this account. And basically I'm going to show you guys all these squares here is exactly where we took these trades. So we're going to be analyzing trade by trade, and this video is going to be a little bit longer, but it's going to help those of you that are trying to get funded, and those of you that are trying to learn how to trade or trying to follow along. So without wasting any more of your time, let's get right into it. So we can see here we've got a long position, and here we can see the enterprise is 101,212. So this is the enterprise, and we were exited at 104,000, almost 105,000. So let's have a look at that trade. So this is the enterprise right here. So this is where we went long on this currency pair, which is BTC USD, and we exited right here. So this was almost at 4%. So if it was 10x leverage, that would be 20, but because we're using 5x leverage, it's going to be way less than that. So basically, let me just take you back to what I was looking at when I was taking this trade. And obviously now we've got so much data that we can look at, but obviously it's so nice when we look back at these trades and see exactly how we traded this. So right here we had the market dropping significantly lower, and basically coming down to this support. You can see here 1, 2, 3. So we've got great support at this key point. So when the market came here, I thought it was a great idea for me to go long. So I then took a long, and basically what I was supposed to be looking at here is to exit the market right here. But I sort of like panicked out of this trade, and when we got here, I thought the market was going to continue to drop because at this stage we're a little bit bearish. So for that reason, I ended up just closing this trade altogether. But this trade gave me 18%, and I wasn't really risking that much. I made just about $100 here. After fees, it's just about $96. So let's move on to the next one. This one made me $437. And if we click on that, this is on Ethereum. So let's jump into that one here. So I'm going to go back to my trading pair here and click Ethereum. And basically I took this trade, basically the first and second trade, I took them on the same day. You can see that the market was dropping significantly lower here, creating a lower low. And then from here, I thought it would be a great idea for me to go short, or rather to go long. You can see the entry price here was at 2,200, more or less 2,200. Let's just go back to that. You can see 2,200. That's where we went long, and we exited at 2,000, almost 2,400. So you can see we took the long from here, and this is where we exited. Looking at this trade here now, in hindsight, I could have easily passed the challenge had I just held the trade and exited around this key point. But obviously the market was sort of like volatile at this stage, and there was a lot of uncertainty on the market as well. So that's why when we got to this stage, I decided to exit the market. So this is when I exited the market, and at this stage of the trading challenge, this was my biggest win at $437. Let's move on to the next one. The next trade is $57. This one is more or less break even, so I'm not gonna jump into that. So let's have a look at this one. This one's on BTC. I went in at $105,000 and I exited at $107,000. So let's have a look at that. And if we hover over here, you can see this is 105. Let's just bring my horizontal array over here. You can see if we click on that, that's 105, and you can see this is 107. So this is where I went long. So I went long at around about here. So this wasn't a bad of a trade, because at this stage here, if I zoom out, you can see that we've got a resistant line here on top. So for that reason, I had every right to exit this trade over here. Obviously, I could have exited over here, but it's not guaranteed that the market will push to that level. So for that reason, I decided I was gonna exit here. As you can see, the market started pushing down here, but eventually pushed up here. That is the second trade. And again, this trade, how much did it give me? Around about $133. At this stage, I'm just making a little bit of money, not that much. And the next one is basically just break even, $7. And the next one is break even as well. The next big one was $112, which gave us an ROI of 5% on the margin that we risked. Let's have a look at this one. We went in short. Now, this is where I started getting things wrong, but again, let's just go to the market and have a look at it. Because of this trend line that we have here on top, I strongly believe that the market was gonna drop. So that's why I had this short here. You can see I was expecting the market to drop to these key levels. Let's get this point. I was expecting the market to come here, and then the market was now trading at this key point. I was expecting it to drop to these key levels here. And at this stage, we knew that the market was forming a bull flag, but I didn't believe that the market was gonna break out so soon. So I was expecting the market to still drop to this key point here before then moving towards this direction. But obviously that didn't happen. So this trade here gave us $112. If we look at it, 109, 108. So let's go and have a look at this. This is the trade. We went in here short at 109 and we exited here. Now, the reason why we exited this trade is simply because, remember, we went short right around about here. So we're moving sideways, we were moving sideways and it was taking a very long time and we were moving sideways, and I decided, you know what, I'm just gonna exit, because the moment the market start moving sideways, especially at these key critical points, I didn't want to be part of it, right? So I wanted to be out, because if you look here, normally when the market comes to these key critical points here, you can see the highlighted points here. The market just comes with one candle, one or two candle, it will touch it and goes down. You can see here, one or two candle touches and goes down. And then eventually here, we start to seeing a lot of candle forming around these key areas. And the market is not deciding on a direction. So that sort of like gave me an idea that I want to be out of this market, because it can now start to change directions. As you can see here, this one and this one and that one, and also this one here, it just touched the 11-year resistance on BTC. Again, this is the reason why I shorted, because this was the highest or the all-time high that we had on BTC. So we strongly believe that at this stage, we still gonna get a resistance. But as you can see on our next trade here, you can see our next trade was now a loss of 581. The next one is a loss of 373. The next one is a loss of 437. So we took a huge knock here on the account, and this is evidence if we come to the account over here, and you can see this is where we took this loss here, and we immediately went to the drawdown because we had basically lost everything that we had made previously. Let's look at how did that happen. So let's come back to this trade here. Again, I just show you this trade here. Again, this is more or less all on BTC. So I'll be able to just analyze all three of these trades in one go. Let's come back here and have a look at BTC on the chart. You can see we got negative 18%. I was short at 112,000 and the market went up above 116,000. And guys, this is one of the most crucial moments when you are trading. It's very important for you not to be biased. When you see the market changes, the market breaking structure, it's important that you follow the trend. You forget whatever that was happening in the past. You go on and follow the new trend that is forming on the market. So that's why I took these losses, because if you don't take a loss, you're going to hit your maximum daily loss, which means that you're going to blow up the account and lose the account before hitting the maximum account loss. I took a negative 18,000 here, and I took a negative 24,000, or rather negative 24%, and here I took a negative of 28%. Again, this is just on one basically trading pair. So I was literally now shorting the market at this stage here. Let me look at that. I was looking at this, that the market may maybe come down here, come up there, and eventually change direction, because I was still bearish. But the moment the market started pushing towards 117,000, I then changed my mind on the entire structure of the market. And as I was saying, guys, this is very important, not to be always biased. When the market or when the chart is telling you, hey, we are now moving on a different direction, it's very imperative that you're able to adapt to that new trend and be able to hop on the trend and follow it. So this is what was happening in my mind at this stage. And immediately when I took the loss here, I went on Discord and I told everybody that now the market is changing. Basically at 116,000, I told everybody within our group that the market was going to go to 120,000. Let me see if I can find that. And you can see this is the moment. You can see the date here. It's Friday 11 July 2025. So let's go to that exact date on the chart. So you can see here I've got Friday 12, Friday here, Friday 11th. So it's exactly on this screen, on this box here. You can see Friday 11. So it's within these candles here. It's within these key areas here where I told people that the market is going to 120,000. At this stage, it was still at 116,000. So this gave me a new idea to then hop on this long trend, even though it was risky that the market could fall. But because it has broken and created a new all-time high, I figured I might as well just hop on the trade, right? So let's come back to the trades here. So this is how I lost these three trades. Now let's look at the next trade. So after these three losses here, on the next trade I recovered and I made $422. So it's still not a lot after losing over $1,300. So let's have a look at that. You can see here I'm now long on BTC and I went long at 115,000 and I exited at 117,000. Some of you may be wondering, why the hell did I exit at 117,000 when I just posted on our Discord that I'm expecting the market or BTC to go and reach 120,000. Now, again, I'm a human being. When I'm trading, I've got emotions. Sometimes the market just gets the better of you. At this stage, I'm also thinking, you know what? Because this is now, we are now on this box here. Let me just highlight it. So this is the trade that we took here. That's the one that I'm talking about. So let me try to zoom in here as well so that you guys can see. So at this stage, we knew that the market was, this is when we took the long position. And when we got to this key point here, basically the market went to create a new all-time high of 118,000, but then came back down here. So I didn't like the fact that we're now not moving with the high momentum as we were moving right here. So that's why I decided, you know what, I'm just gonna take this. This is almost $500. I'm recovering my losses. So I exited out of the market, but I was still bullish, as I had mentioned that we will see 120,000 on BTC. Let's go ahead and look at the next one. Now you see on the next trade that we now did very well, because we knew that the market has taken a different direction, but we also knew that as much as BTC had pumped, the altcoins at this stage had not moved that much. And the trade that I was interested in is trading Ethereum. Now you can see we made 60% on Ethereum. And again, all these trades that I'm talking about, we were dropping them as signal on our Discord group. And within our Discord group, we also have a channel dedicated to how to get funded. And you can see whenever I'm passing the challenges and everybody's posting, you can see everybody's trading and everybody's posting their funded accounts. So it's very important for you guys to be part of this as well, so that you have sort of like a community that helps you on this journey of getting funded. But back to this account here, or this trade here, you can see we made 60% here on Ethereum, and we also made 28% still on Ethereum. We're gonna go to these trades in just a moment. And on the last one here, we made 6%, and altogether this gave me over $2,000. So in just one setup, I was able to scale, because you're not able to scale on top of a trade. So I was just opening a trade on top of another one. That's why this one is 1,200. This one is it's just over $900, and this one is almost $400. So I took advantage and made over $200, or rather $2,000 on this currency pair, because I knew that Ethereum was still due for a pump. Let's have a look at it on the chart. So I'm going to come here and look at Ethereum. So let's come back here and look at our enterprise on the first one. You can see the first one, I went in at 3,400. And if we bring our horizontal array here, we can see this is 1,400, and we exited here at 1,000, or rather 3,800. We can see 1,800 here on top. So let's have a look at what happened on this trade. This was the most profitable trade on this funded account, or this phase 1 trading challenge. Basically what I was looking at here was simply because BTC had pumped so much and created a new all-time high at this stage at 120,000, or even above that. And at this stage, Ethereum had not really moved that much, and I knew that Ethereum and Solana will soon follow what BTC is doing. So for that reason, I was able to get in here at 3,400. And unfortunately, at this stage, I'm just opening one trade because I'm afraid of having that much of a drawdown on my account. So that's why it took me over a month, almost a month, to pass this phase 1. But it doesn't really matter how long it takes, because the time is unlimited. If you are able to stay disciplined within this period of trying to pass the account or phase 1 and phase 2, what comes after that is infinite amount of the ability for you to withdraw money from these accounts. So you need to be very, very disciplined. So this is what happened here. This is where I went in. It's 3,400 and 3,800, you can see. But within this period here, when the market was moving up and down here, I was very confident that the market was going to push even higher, right? So for that reason, you can see on our next trade here that I opened the next trade at 3,600. So this is where I opened the next one. And eventually I still knew that my target price is 3,800. So you can see I opened another one here and eventually closed both of them at this key area here. So that's how I was able to make this over $2,000. And at this stage, I was so close on passing the account. I think I needed just about $400 or less, and I still had a BTC trade. And then basically I pushed that account to a point where I just needed about $100 or $200, and I was able to make these small trades here at 119,000. I was just taking a little bit of money there, but the most important trade that I took here was this one here. Was very important. You can see that I went short on BTC. Let me have a look at that. So I'm gonna go back to BTC, and basically this is where I shorted BTC. I could have, at this stage, I needed just less than $300, and I went short right about here. Let's have a look at the price. I went short at 118,900. So this is exactly where I went short, and I was taking advantage of this price movement. Let me move this to 1 hour time frame, and I'm gonna expand this. So this is exactly where I went short on the market. At this stage, I needed at least 150. I'm not exactly sure. I can't really remember. But I was then, afraid also that we might not drop that much, but we did. And this was one of the most impressive trades that I took, because the market at this stage was very bullish. As you can see, the market is very bullish, so anything can happen. But then I took the risk of just going short here, and I exited the trades so quickly because I was very scared. But had I just held on that trade, I could have just passed the account with just this trade here. But then I didn't. I still needed about $20. So at this stage, on my next trade here, on our last trade, I needed just about $20. That's why you can see I even have a negative here, which then brought my overall win rates down because now of this trade. But here I went long on BTC. I basically around about here I went long, but then the market just kept dropping after that, and then I took another long position. So at this stage, one position meant that I had passed an account, even though I still had one position which was a negative, and that's the reason why we have this negative 19,000 over, or rather $19 over here. So just like that, I had passed the challenge. If you click on dashboard here, you can see that we did pass the challenge, and basically these are all the trades that I took. And I hope you guys found this video helpful. So the idea here was just for me to show you each and every trade that I took on this trading challenge. As you can see, guys, that I made a lot of mistakes, even though I only had basically 3 losing trades, but there were many moments where I could have just passed the trading challenge with just 1 or 2 trades if I could just let my trades run for some time, because I already knew the target was 120,000, but as you saw that I was exiting my trades way before that. So sometimes you panic as a trader, but for me, this is really fascinating. I think I'll be making a separate video with regards to how I plan to make at least get $1 million in funded accounts. As you guys see that I now passed 4 trading challenge in basically 1 day. So you can see here, if you click on phase 1, this account has 2 accounts, which both of them are in review. In the next video, I'm going to show you guys what happens when you actually pass phase 1. But I'm basically making this video series on how to get funded and basically how to make money with funded accounts. So if you're new and that is of an interest to you, please consider subscribing to the channel and give this video a thumbs up, and also become part of our Discord community. To become part of our Discord community, where you can get signals and also information on how to get funded, Basically, the only thing that you have to do is to go in the description of this video, sign up with Bybit. If you sign up with Bybit, then you go to our WhatsApp line. I'll also leave the link to our WhatsApp, and then just send us your UID from Bybit. Make sure that your UID, or rather your Bybit account, is verified, and then send that to us. And also, if you want to get funded, make sure that you sign up with the prop firm that I'm using. Currently is PropW. I'll leave the link to that in the description of this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to see what happens when you actually pass phase 1, go on and click on the video showing up on your screen right now, because on that video I'm going to dive into details and give you guys everything you need to know when it comes to how to get funded. I'll see you guys there. Goodbye. Peace.